Are Tudor about to release the watch everybody has been wanting? Or are we just kidding ourselves? Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Yes, another one in the series I like to call Buying at BQ. They are the #1 to buy or sell your luxury watch in 2026. With a 14-day money-back guarantee, 2 years warranty on any purchase, and having the highest score on Trustpilot, plus getting the MWC seal of approval of recommendation, there really is no better place to buy or sell than with BQ. Now, over the months, I have raided the BQ safe drawers to try and show off as many watch gems as I can. And over that time, I've got to be honest, I've shown a lot of Tudor watches. Today, I'm going to show off a reference that if Tudor was to release it at Watches and Wonders in 2026, first of all, you wouldn't be able to get it for love nor money. But second of all, it would probably break the internet. Are they going to Born to Dare like the strapline suggests? You know, are they going to do something well out of left field? Your guess is as good as mine. Well, today's watch I have from BQ is from 1995. And if you don't want to wait to see what Tudor does at Watches and Wonders, this one's on their website right now. Are you Tudor dive watch ready? Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, before your eyes, I have for you the Tudor Submariner 79090. And for all intents and purposes, this is a Rolex Submariner. We've got a Rolex 904 round stainless steel case, a Rolex crown, a Rolex case back, and it is very similar to the look of my 14060 Submariner. Obviously, we have a date on the Tudor. Unlike the 14060 that had the upgrades in the applied white gold numerals, here we still have a printed dial, which I've got to say looks awesome. This watch has had a bit of work done to it. I think Tudor have serviced the watch. It looks very clean. What I absolutely love is the plexiglass that protects the dial. Look how much it protrudes off that bezel. And with the Cyclops as well, that's proper vintage. Even in the mid-90s. This is almost like a 5513 case. So Roger Moore's in Live and Let Die. The bezel has an aluminium insert with a lume pip at 12. The grip is exactly the same as my Submariner. However, it is only friction-based and not ratcheted. We've got a Mercedes handset, which is what sets it apart from a Tudor Black Bay 58, as you can see on my watch. The markers are very similar. However, we have the Snowflake handset on this watch and the Mercedes handset on this one. I was very fortunate enough a year or so ago to review the Tudor Snowflake, and I believe at some point you could get a Tudor Submariner at the same time with either a Snowflake handset, Snowflake dial, or this dial. And it wasn't until 1999 these guys were all being phased out, and the majority of dive watches Tudor were making were called the Hydronaut. Have a look at this. Not many people talk about this watch, and to be fair, I think at some stage we're going to see a Tudor Hydronaut again. The bracelet, well, it's hollow end links. Instead of the crown logo on the clasp, however, we have the Tudor shield and Tudor on the inside of the pressed parts. It's very light, it feels tinny. The links are rolled, so it feels very vintagey.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Now, powering this watch was an extremely powerful workhorse from ETA, the 2824-2. It's automatic, has 25 joules, and has a power reserve of 35 hours. 4 hertz movement, sweeping away at 28,800 beats per hour. This was the affordable Submariner. Back in the day, back in the 90s. This was the premium tool watch for the working class, when I guess the Rolex Submariner was the premium tool watch for the middle class. It all means a lot different these days. But if you didn't have Rolex money, this was pretty much a Rolex Submariner, but without the refinements of their own in-house movements. Exactly the same as Rolex. The winding of this feels the same as a Rolex. The tight, taut feeling you get with Rolex is still here in this watch. Feels like an old Rolex Submariner. The fact we don't have applied markers, it just gives off such a vintage vibe, which I really do like. This is the date variant, which I've got to be honest, I prefer not to have a date, but the actual dial does remind me of that P01, one of my favourite Tudor dive watch dials. This one looks great, doesn't it?
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and this proper feels and looks like Roger Moore's watch from Live and Let Die. The only difference being it's got Tudor on the dial and not Rolex. It looks that little bit more vintagey than my 14060, just looks that tiny bit smaller. Apart from the crown though, that looks great and big. This is a beautiful find. It still looks in fantastic condition. Tudor have obviously done a great job in servicing this watch and bringing it back to almost production level. Feels great on the wrist, is great on the wrist. It's cool. So to buy this watch on the BQ website, it's going to cost you £6,250. Obviously, there's always a little bit of wiggle room. Stick in a cheeky offer and see if you get lucky. It's amazing how much money these watches go for nowadays when they were supposed to be the affordable Rolex of their day. It just shows you how collectible these watches are to a lot of people, and still what an anomaly they are. You know, the fact they had Rolex cases, Rolex crowns, Rolex case backs, and the majority of them had Rolex bracelets and clasps. And even though there's no way Tudor would ever do that these days, could they go more in with a design that is more Tudor Submariner for a watch release in 2026? Will we ever see a Mercedes handset on a Tudor again? I don't think so, but I'd love to see a Black Bay 58 with this bezel on it, because this is brilliant. And if there's one thing I would improve with the Black Bay 58, it would be the coin edging on that bezel and crown. But would it pull away from the character Tudor have built on this old inspired diver to pull at the heartstrings more of customers that want old Submariners? I wouldn't mind it. So here it is, my wife's thoughts on the Tudor Submariner from 1995. I'm not holding for much hope. Don't even want to look, really. Boring. This is a very boring watch. You've shown me this before, haven't you? Put it away. Yeah, thought that would happen. You know, it's a lot like my Submariner and other black dial dive watches that I've liked in the past. What are you gonna do? Thank you so much to BQ for sending this in, and it's on their website right now, as well as a lot of other fantastic Tudor watches that you can make a cheeky offer on. You don't know if you don't ask. If you've watched till the end of the show, you're my favourite. We got a Patreon now. See the shows early, blooper reels, behind the scene footage, private group chat, and get your name credited at the end of every show like this lovely lot. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, take a look at the other awesome watches I've had at BQ in the last couple of years now. Look at these. Oh, the playlist is rich. Go on, you'll love it. Go on, click it. Come on, click it.